Hey guys, welcome back to Makeaway Life Coaching. My name is Sarah Abbott and I'm the life coach here. We got such good feedback for our show on self-care during the pandemic last week. Thank you for all that feedback. And this week I just wanted to jump in a little bit deeper. So last week we were talking about the 4 quadrants of well-being: emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. And then if you have all 4 of those are the 4 quadrants that make you up, okay? If you have balance in those 4, then you're doing genuine self-care. You're tuning into the 4 parts of yourself that need your attention so that you feel well, even when, no matter how hard life is, you feel a lot better when your 4 quadrants are attended to and in balance. So today we're going to jump into the emotional quadrant, number 1. Like we said last time, the emotional quadrant is feelings, okay? Feelings are different than thoughts. So this is the emotional quadrant. What we learned about feelings is worth repeating. Feelings come up and they're meant to flow out, okay? You're not meant to have the same feelings stuck in your body forever. So if you're honoring your feelings, they will flow up and they will flow out. That doesn't happen right away, okay? Feelings aren't for a second. You can have an entire day where you kind of have this feeling that is sticking around. Doing the work around the feelings will help it move on faster, for sure. But it doesn't, like for instance, during this pandemic that we're living through, you're going to have fear come up. It's going to come up a lot. Doing the work around it isn't going to make it go away forever. But I'll tell you what, doing the work around feelings is definitely going to help them to move on as soon as they can possibly move on. Okay, we're not really super duper in control of our feelings. They are just meant to be acknowledged and felt. Okay, this is not a country that loves to feel our feelings. We love to self-medicate. We love to stay really busy. We love to dive into like the internet or who knows, a bottle of wine, whatever it is, so we don't have to feel our feelings. But the fact is, the only way to get the negative feelings to move on is to let them come up naturally, acknowledge them, feel them, and just let them be until they're willing to flow on out of you, okay? Being in denial about them, rejecting them, staying super busy, which is harder now that most of us are shut in our homes. We're not super busy, so we're feeling more of our feelings. But all of these avoidant behaviors, what they do is they make the feelings stick around, okay? Maybe you numb it temporarily with the wine or the online shopping, or maybe you just push it down. That's a favorite with a lot of people. But then it gets stuck. And then, sadness can become depression. And you can get a lot of problems by not just letting the feeling be and letting it flow, okay? It will eventually move on. There's something you can do in the meantime. I mentioned this last week, but I have really big feelings and they can be very overwhelming for me. And so my number one thing that I do, I actually am an extrovert, so I talk out loud a lot. So when I'm really feeling fearful or really sad or really happy, I'll often say out loud like, wow, I am feeling so afraid. Just to myself, not like anyone's here to talk to me about it. Maybe my husband is, and he's used to hearing this by now, so he's not worried about it. But you can just state it. Like, I'm so afraid. I am so sad. I am so full of joy, whatever the feeling is. I'm so overwhelmed. That's a good one for right now. Okay, and so just like acknowledge the feeling and just let it be. Just accept that this is what's going on in our world and accept that you're going to have feelings that are going to come up and you just have to feel them and let them be. Okay? It's okay to grieve the losses that we're all going through right now, and it's okay to be afraid of the unknown. All of these things are super common, but I just wanted to share with you something I do to kind of help myself while the feeling is still sticking around, is I ask God to help me. So I'll just like shoot up a quick prayer. Like, God, sometimes I'll say, will you just balance my feelings right now? Like, balance me out. I just need to be balanced. Because I'll be like way over here and I need to be like, whew, more in the middle, right? Or you can be like, God, this fear is too much for me. I feel paralyzed. Can you please just help bring it down? And every time, ask and you shall receive. Every time I ask for help with my feelings, God just like instantly brings the feeling down to a level I can manage. And I just cannot recommend that more highly because that might be the coping strategy you need to get through right now. Okay, for feelings, we're just reminding ourselves over and over and over, these feelings will not be here forever. Okay, we don't know how long. There's so much we don't have control over. We've lost our illusion of certainty. Like I said last week, we never had certainty in life. But we've lost the illusion of it, and we're sad to have that go. But basically, just remembering these feelings are not going to last forever. And now is a moment where if you need help, get help. Okay? If you're acknowledging the feelings and you feel like you can't handle them, then it is a really good time to seek out a therapist, a mental health professional to get help for your feelings if you are incapable of handling how strong they are right now, because they're really for some of us they're going to be really intense. So ask for what you need in life. That is maybe the best life coaching tip I can give you. Okay, some feelings, not all, but some feelings require that we take an action. Like they won't move on until you take an action. So a big one that needs action oftentimes is anger. When anger comes up, it's often telling us that we need to put up a boundary. If you are not super familiar with boundaries, I highly encourage you to go back on YouTube or Anchor podcasts, wherever you're hearing or watching us right now, and go ahead and pull up our boundaries. We have posted 2 boundaries videos that are life-changing. Boundaries give you freedom. They help bring down your anger, okay? They really help bring down overwhelm. And conflict actually in your relationships. So if you need help with boundaries, go on back a couple weeks and look at our boundaries video, and I really believe it will help you. But let's just take it right now, okay? So I like to think of myself as like a hostage homeschooler because I didn't sign up for this. This has been thrust upon me. I know I'm not the only one. So we started home last week with spring break. They played video games all week. It was amazing for me. Maybe not for their brain development, but that's okay. We all do what we need to do for self-care. I ain't sorry. Okay, so now we're homeschooling and already I feel like overwhelm coming up. Like I wanted to shoot a video. I wanted to take a shower and all these things. Okay. Anger and overwhelm are indicators that you need to put up a boundary. So just because our kids are home 24/7 now, doesn't mean that they get to like destroy our lives. We can have healthy boundaries with our kids. I will acknowledge if you have young children in the home, this is super, super hard when they're young. I feel very grateful to have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old right now. I don't know. I think some of you are like, she's grateful to have a 13-year-old? That's nuts. I don't know. I'm just really grateful when I'm a 2-year-old, okay? Let's just be honest. But if your kids are younger, you're going to have to be gentle with yourself because it's a very hard phase in which they can't be very autonomous and you can have boundaries with them, but it's harder, okay? So I'm going to speak to all of the age of parenting, but I just want to acknowledge if your kids are younger, some of this is going to be harder to do. That's just the facts. Okay, boundaries with your kids. Just because they're home doesn't mean they get to like inflict their mood on you and they're bored. So now they want to talk about being bored every 5 seconds or whatever. We can have healthy boundaries. So tune into your feelings. When you feel overwhelmed and the overwhelm is what is coming up, then you have to stop and think, what do I need to do right now to get some boundaries put around like this situation so I can have peace, which is what we all need. Okay. Same with anger. If you have anger coming up, it means that you're not doing a very good job taking care of yourself and you're not putting up very strong boundaries. In fact, anger is an indicator inside that you like are literally trying to push people away. And the healthy way to do that is not to go into a fit of rage or, a burst of temper, but to like develop healthy boundaries. Again, go back and watch our video on boundaries. It's so life-changing. I don't have time to explain it here because it's too amazing and complicated and we already did videos on it. Okay, so with my kids, here's what some of those videos look like. I did do kind of like, I don't know, a makeshift homeschool schedule. And with my little guy, he has the energy of like 5 or 10 Energizer rabbits put together. So we are gonna bone up on PE during this homeschool. I ain't sorry. This is what it's gonna take for me to survive the hostage homeschooling that we're in. And so I really want to encourage you to build a schedule. Like, oh my gosh, I saw some of these schedules on Facebook, color-coded by some really well-meaning homeschool mom. But guess what? Most of us are not like OG homeschool moms, okay? We didn't ask for this. We're the hostage homeschool moms. And so we should not be having like this super intense chart that is going to make us want to run away because the borders are closed. Like my joke with my family is like, I'm running away to Mexico. Well, the border's closed, okay? So we have to have boundaries in place so that we don't want to run away because we have nowhere to run away to. Okay, so you need to have a schedule that is going to work for you. A lot of the learning I structured for my son is going to be me kind of setting it up and then him plugging away on it while I set the kitchen timer for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go blow dry my hair. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not ideal. This is not the way a teacher would do it in a classroom, but like I said, we're going to make this work for both of us, okay? PE is a subject, people. So send your kids outside to play. They're still allowed to be outside. If you have a backyard, then thank the Lord, because that's a wonderful place for them to play safely. If they need to go to the park around the corner, then take a latte and you can sit on that bench 6 feet away from anyone else and supervise. Whatever you need to do. Pay attention to what's going on in your home and just remember, you're the boss. And I feel like I need to share this story. One time I was listening to Fresh Air on NPR, and Terry Gross was saying that her mom was what they used to call a housewife. Now we call it a stay-at-home mom. And how funny. Now we're all housewives, stay-at-home moms. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Sheltering in place. And she was saying that she doesn't remember her mom ever playing with her. And I just, that was like a epiphany in my life. Because I feel like nowadays with Pinterest, like we are making this mom gig too hard, people. So yes, we're all home together. Yes, a wonderful bonding thing to do would be to like play one board game together a day, okay? But it doesn't mean that you're on the clock 24/7 to entertain your kids and bond with them 24/7. It's not even healthy, okay? Think about those like 50s housewives. And the way they did it when they were at home is like they did their job. They were like cooking, cleaning. My grandma was watching soap operas, and good for her. Maybe folding laundry while she did it. I don't even know. Whatever. Okay. Doing the things we need to do and reminding the children they are fully capable of entertaining themselves for periods of time that we will determine. Okay. And then check in how it's going. But remember that you're the boss of your life and that this is your home too. Okay. The children came to live with you. This is so important that you remember this right now. These are boundaries, okay? If you feel overwhelmed, you need to have like a stronger boundary. And I would really encourage you, don't make a color-coded homeschooling thing, okay? Make a homeschooling list that like mom can live with, mom approved. It's really important. Another really simple thing you do, this is not reinventing the wheel. I've seen this on 100 things, but it's really good time. Really good timing right now. Start a gratitude journal, okay? This can... if you're grateful to God for what he's given you, then you can double count this as emotional and spiritual quadrant. 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, every day, just write 5 things that you're grateful for. I am personally grateful to God because I know all my blessings come from him. And so anyway, just write it down. Oprah taught us this like, I don't know, 35 years ago. Do it. You don't have to have that fancy gratitude journal from Amazon or from your local bookstore. You can just write it on a piece of paper. It's a fun thing to keep. It's good to look back at your blessings and to think, wow, even during the pandemic, I had things to be grateful for. Okay, so do that. That's really good self-care. It's really good for your emotions. Okay, it really resets your feelings to consciously think, this is what I'm grateful for. And here's the beauty of this exercise. Do it before bed, but subconsciously, what that's going to do is it's going to shift your emotions so that all day you subconsciously are going to be looking for things to be grateful for because you know you need to write 5 down at the end of the day. And that is a huge paradigm shift and it will help your mood. Okay. It's going to shift over some of the feelings toward gratitude and away from some of the negative feelings that we're a little overwhelmed with right now. Okay, the last thing I want to tell you is about filling your well. I had this great professor and when I went to therapy school, and she taught us this beautiful metaphor or analogy. I don't know. I didn't major in English. Um, about filling your well. Okay, so some people talk about when you're on the airplane, the mom's supposed to put on her mask if the plane's going down before the kid does. And the reason so that you don't like pass out and can't put it on your kid. This is a little bit different. Picture a well, like in a village, and that's where you're going to get your water, which you need to survive, okay? Well, you need to like fill your well as the mom so that other people are able to like, they need to get their water too. But let's face it, a lot of the resources your kids are going to need are going to come from you. The food and the love and the care and the homeschooling and all the stuff, okay? So stop and just be like, whoa, what am I going to do to fill my well so that I have enough to give away? Okay, that's a really powerful thing. This should be fun stuff. Here's why. Fun stuff is good for your feelings. So that's why it's in the emotion. I'm putting it in the emotional quadrant. Some of it will multitask into other quadrants. And I just want to share one thing with you that I have been doing. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And it's free. Okay, I love cooking. And right now, okay, most of my weeknights are like totally dominated by sports. So I do slow cooker because I'm not even home to cook in the evenings. And that's boring. But now I have time to cook in the evenings. And so anyway, for fun, on demand, I have Xfinity. I don't know. I'm sure you have some way of watching something on TV. If not, you might want to get something. Anyway, on demand free is Barefoot Contessa. And that is a show by Ina Garten. And Ina will teach you how to cook, like for real. I already knew how to cook. It doesn't matter. She's improving my technique. She's really good. The tools she uses, like, I don't know, the wooden spoon. I'm like, gosh, that looks like such a better wooden spoon that I have. I'll put that on my birthday wish list from Sur La Table. Anyway. So I have just been like watching those shows. They're 30 minutes when I have a minute. And I swear, it's just so centering for me, okay? And I love her personality. Ina makes you just know everything's going to be okay. And there's 20-something seasons, so there's no shortage, okay? And I just like watch 1 or 2 a day, kind of spaced out. And it's very inspirational for me because I love to cook. And so this is tying into a hobby. So a really great idea for filling your well is find something you already love to do, like jewelry making. If you love jewelry making, then find a way to stream some like YouTube jewelry making classes, okay? It's going to really help fill your well and shift your feelings toward a more positive feeling because you're taking care of yourself. That's what self-care is. I just can't recommend highly enough. For now, I'm sitting on my couch and Ina and I are thinking about what we want to make for dinner, and I just love it, and I'm learning, and it's really like quiet time. I asked the children to be out of the room or to sit next to me quietly. And I just love it. Like, make a cup of herbal tea, sit on the couch, enjoy your show. Find your hobby, your thing. If you don't have a hobby, boy, now would be a great time to find one that is really, really good filling your well stuff. My hobby is cooking and reading. I already have some really good books I'm reading right now, but yeah, so that's just something like free to do. Like, gosh, improve yourself as a cook. Most of us cook dinner every night anyway. There's tons of free things online. There's tons of free things with like Hulu, and I don't know if Hulu's free actually. I think I spend $3 a month on Hulu. It's not a lot of money. Anyway, these are examples of filling your well, and I really encourage you to find your thing and just be like, this is what I'm doing to fill my well during the pandemic, okay? We're going to get into the other quadrants in the next 3 weeks. We're going to go through mental, physical, spiritual. So be here, like mark your calendars. We drop our videos every Wednesday. And then I would encourage you to go to makeawaylifecoaching.com. I actually created these self-care handouts that I'm emailing to new subscribers to my website. So go to makeawaylifecoaching.com, the bottom of the page, subscribe now, and I will send you a really long list. If you're like me, when my therapist years ago was like, you need more self-care, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What is this thing? And I Googled it. All the things on the list were like dumb. So over the years, I've created my own list of things I think are really helpful to a lot of different kinds of women, and I just really want to give that to you. So subscribe to my website, makeawaylifecoaching.com, and I'll send it to you. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram so that you don't miss our videos. And I just want to encourage you, focus on your emotions, okay? Letting the feelings come up and just acknowledge them and let them be so that they can move on in a timely manner, hopefully. Ask for the help you need. If you need help right now, ask for help and feel you're well, okay? Stay grateful, focus on gratitude, feel you're well, and don't forget those boundaries with kids. You take care. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.